Blessing Soul family. This is Jules, and I am super excited about our guest today. I have Helena here, and I mean, as you can see, she is just gorgeous. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Helena, and just let us know who you are and what you would like everyone to know about you.
Oh, I love that openness. And thank you for having us, Jules. We are really happy to be here today. Interesting that I say the word we. So I'm Helena, and as the co-founder of quantumsoundtherapy.com, we have been dedicated for the last actually 40 years to develop frequencies that target the evolutionary aspects of humanity, including the consciousness and the conscious brain. So we're here, quantum sound therapy essentially combines scalar or quantum technology with a library of beautiful sound frequencies designed to elevate and actually activate the awakened human. And we do many processes as part of that, but we are basically frequency based. And our perspective is that we are frequency beings living on a frequency planet, which is water based. And so our modality, which is holistic, is designed to address human consciousness, combining the consciousness of the brain and the physicality, which is basically composed of water. You are mostly water.
I love that, and you all didn't see this, but Helena just tell me how you pronounce your name, honey.
I go with the flow on it, but the preferred way is Helena.
Helena. Okay, because I've been calling you Helena, but it's okay, Helena. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. But right before she went and got some structured water. And so I love how you're bringing water into this because that is such a huge part of holding higher frequencies. But I want to go, and I love where you're going with this. I think everyone's like, yes, I want to learn more. So I want to just let you kind of keep going with it, and I'll just kind of jump in with other questions. But I did want to mention the structured water just because I know for myself that's a huge part of holding a higher frequency. So I'm hoping you'll kind of dabble in that a little bit.
Absolutely. So we've discovered that in order to hack consciousness, we boiled it down to 7 essential hacks, which is you have to understand the first one, that we're living in a field of energy that's subtle and that we've never really addressed until now. And so we address this through the use of quantum technologies that are altering the field and creating a cocoon-like substance that actually acts as a buffer to some of the discordant energies of, let's say, emotions, 5G, etc. Then the second hack is always activating the frontal lobe with frequencies that we have developed and tested and have in our library that are extremely accurate because they're to the point of 4 to 5 decimal points of resolution. So the frontal lobe, once it gets activated, you naturally go into a problem solving. You naturally go into your genius zone. And this, of course, Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, everyone's been talking about this for about the last 20 years. So the frontal lobe, the distinction with us is that we have very precise frequencies that were actually given by intelligences that have a very broad perspective. Then the third hack is, of course, using frequencies to activate your intuition, your third eye. And the significance of this is that in the past 6,000 years, actually humanity's third eye got shut down. That was around the time of Plato, and we got very intellectual, very thought oriented. So we're now needing to put our attention for the new age back to the pineal gland, which is just waiting to be activated. So just focusing with some golden light. And of course, then there is water. And we were the partners with our good friend, who's now the late Masaru Emoto. And we developed 5 with structured water formulas to activate and calm and bring coherent frequencies directly into the cells. And Then, of course, we also do voice analysis, which is we have software that is designed to analyze over 1 billion bits of information from the voice. And the reason I got into this project is I'm a University of Chicago, believe it or not, trained psychologist who discovered the limits of talk therapy. Because I was working in the ashrams of Harakan Babaji, Guru Mai Chivalasananda, Muktananda as a therapist, and I saw people were progressing, but the deep karmic, cosmic, causal issues were not being addressed. And so that there was this unevenness. And so they would go up, in darshan, for those of you that have followed masters, wearing all white or their beautiful saris, but then their home lives and some of their emotional relationships were in conflict and they were playing out agendas from the past. So the voice analysis, it detects the subconscious. That's why I'm here today, is that I was psychically gifted as a child, but I had no idea what to do with that. I still don't really, to tell you the truth. It's like living on a planet where I have one kind of vision and everybody else has another, but now everyone's waking up. So we're kind of joining forces. But what happened to me is that I started doing psychic readings at age 3 to my parents, telling them things that they didn't want to hear. So I then withdrew, which many of us did, and kind of hid that gift, became a shrink so that I could figure out what to do with that gift. That led me into creating this modality with my late partner, Robert Loy, who was the scalar technology inventor. And there's the whole story in a nutshell. And what we're doing here is actually generating fields. I'm now calling them the quantum harmony homes. We're generating fields of energy that nurture our children, number one, nurture us, number two, and provide the coherence and the cocoon-like environment that makes us feel better, because many of the programs that are on Earth right now are not uplifting, and yet we're picking them up on a subconscious vibrational level. So the scalar technology creates a beautiful cancellation field, and it allows us to dwell in harmony in our homes and in our heart, and to use our brains and our consciousness in the highest way possible.
I love that. So I want to I keep hearing everybody wanting to go back to the genius zone and how we can use that to advance in all areas of our life, right? So obviously focus, our body, the way we feel, the way we think, and also being able to kind of tap into that intelligence that maybe is beyond our programming. Because I know that there's a lot of people that are listening that's a big passion of theirs, is that they're very aware of what programming is, but they're always kind of searching for that bridge to start receiving information beyond programming. And when I heard you say that, I feel like there's a bridge there, and I'd love to go into that.
Oh, yes. So the bridge is frequency, really. And what we're doing is we're overriding. So this is a profound question. So let me just make sure I answered this in a way that's very clear. So the way Earth has been created by the lower half, not to be judgmental, but by survival and fear and control and slavism, what we sort of have realized is slavism, is actually in conflict with who you're designed to become. And this is why we see diseases running rampant. Recently, I just heard a lot of healers dying because they're not stepping into their power. So what happens is, and this is why we have so many of the leaders in personal development. We have, as our clients, we have Tony Robbins, who has 10 of our instruments. We have Marcy Shimoff and Natalie Ledwell and many others. So what needs to happen is that, and this has become particularly relevant because 5G, and what people don't understand, artificial intelligence and 5G is very capable of projecting frequencies into the environment through technology that's going to be influencing your subconscious. It will influence your emotional state. It will influence your thoughts. And I know that's a little scary, but it can easily put you into the primitive brain, the reptilian brain. Now, we do not create in beta or in primitive fight, flight, freeze. We create in alpha, theta, and gamma. So it's really simple when you understand this. It's so simple. You have to manage the real estate that you've been given, which is here. You can manage it really simply by activating frequencies. What you're doing is canceling the discordant frequencies that are meant to actually keep you, I want to say this correctly, keep you resonating in a lower frequency realm that looks more like fear, which will always keep you away from your quantum genius. And so what we're doing is developing the envelope in a very structured way that separates you from the confusion and the chaos and allows you to thrive again. And it creates a vortex or a field that is, since your brain is always seeking information. So think of your brain as an antenna. And right now, Jules and I are actually seeking information at the same time that I'm speaking. We're seeking the information from the field, for example, of what you need to hear from us. There's an example. Now, when the brain or the antenna is, so think of it as a radio station, picks up the coherent frequencies, your children, your pets, you are going to suddenly snap into the genius zone, which is the left frontal lobe. And it's that simple. So if you think of yourself as a receiver that has this amazing circuitry that's going unused, it's like having $1 billion piece of real estate that we never learned to manage. That's kind of what's going on Earth right now. And your enslavement results in you're not learning to manage this. That's it. It's that simple. Once you start managing your consciousness and your attraction to the vortex, to a coherent field, you will start to create and thrive because you'll know fight, flight, freeze will feel foreign. And you'll see it in your children. You'll even see it in your pets and your husband or your significant other. So what we're proposing here is an elevated consciousness modality that allows you to become a conscious creator of your reality and your work. And guess what? That's why you came here, to do a certain specific thing. So as one of the speakers on YouTube says all the time, everyone has a Michael Jordan level genius in something. I forget his name, but I love that he says that. So you all have a genius and you all have a purpose. Let's figure out what it is. Usually the signs are there. I was giving readings at 3. They didn't like what I was saying because I told them that they were rich now, they'd be poor in the future. Turned out to be true. They lost their business, but they didn't totally lose it actually. But the thing is that when you activate your unique soul purpose, and this is now mandatory. So the difference right now is that we're living on a different and we're all talking about this. 2023 has brought in not only new solutions, new issues and problems, but new and quick ways for you to shift and thrive. It's almost as though because the confusion has mounted, here's the solution, you can heal faster. I don't know if you're noticing that, Jules. It's like
Already. I'm also getting that this year is going to be part of our conscious shift for those that are already awakened and well on the conscious journey are going to start to shift to beyond linear time so that they'll start to think and create in the sphere because what you're saying of the problem and solution, that they won't actually be on a timeline. They'll come in and then shift and we'll move into the sphere and not experience things as we would think as like a sentence with a beginning and an end. We'll see it more in a sphere. So that's what I'm a big message that I'm getting for those that are ready to shift beyond even thinking in a linear time zone. And that is a big part of that genius zone, right? There's so many levels that we could tap into here. But I know that you also had something that you wanted to share with us. So I feel like now would be an amazing time to tap into that as well.
Okay, so I do want, since we're talking about the genius zone, I do want to clarify that. First of all, as a premise, Bruce Lipton and Colin McClare did the research. Frequency is 100 times as powerful as pharmaceuticals, herbs, and all other substances that we use to alter. But I do want to point out that gamma frequencies are the key to activating genius immediately. And that's what all the leaders know and don't tell. So whether it's John Assaraf or they do not tell you this, I do not know why. They are using, and we've mastered those frequencies. So we're going to share those with you today. But just think gamma, which is a certain frequency range that wasn't even on the brainwave charts. When I started, like I have that email address, Gamma Girl, right? When I realized that this was the secret key that the masters used, I'm talking about everyone from Tiger Woods to, Guru Mai Chipalasananda, they go into gamma frequencies. And that's where they're creating from. Any gifted athlete, any gifted CEO, most of them don't even know that actually, but they have like a highway to activating gamma frequencies. So I want to make that point. And we do have gamma frequencies. That was one thing, we didn't understand this. This was part of our lesson and learning. And that what you cannot be in gamma brain waves and be in fight, flight, freeze, primitive reptilian brain at the same time. You cannot be in the left frontal lobe and be in fight, flight, freeze. So this is what Jules is speaking of as the bridge, and the easiest way is to immerse yourself in frequencies. But let's take a listen.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so isn't it amazing that it's that simple though? That's the part.
Should be that simple. Honestly, I always say if it's not easy, well, let me take that back. There's always going to be times we have to use spiritual discipline. But when it comes to knowing where you are, it is that easy. You're either here or you're not. And
Yeah.
it is that easy.
Wow, that's very true. Let's see if we can pull this up, because what we're going to do, hold on 1 second. Okay, am I a co-host? Because it's not bringing this up yet.
Let me just check. And while she's doing that, everyone just kind of let yourself, let's see, well, you are co-host. So you are,
Okay.
I was going to say I could make you host, but I don't think I actually
I
can.
don't think, yeah. Okay, so I'm doing the back end of this. While I'm doing this, let's take a moment to breathe and just feel the breath going into your solar plexus. I want you to visualize golden light being projected into your third eye. And I'm going to play some frequencies to activate and awaken the third eye. So while I'm playing the frequencies, I'd like you to relax, be at ease, and visualize a golden column of light shining into the third eye. And let's take a listen. Allowing these frequencies to penetrate any discordance, any beliefs that this is not possible. And what you'll receive today is a divine gift. Breathe deeply and allow yourself to open the vortex of the third eye, spinning the spiral vortex. Breathe. Breathe in this light and sound. Opening the doorway of consciousness is easy. It is your divine birthright. Feel the grace and the ease.
Is that, are we to a place where we can, that was really amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I could have said, I just was like going somewhere else. Um,
This is a problem.
we're back. We're back. Yeah, you know what was interesting when I was listening, because as soon as you started playing, I shifted actually from the pineal gland to kind of, I could feel the energy moving to the front for that frontal lobe. And it was really interesting because I felt myself, and it's interesting that I used the word interesting over and over again, but I could feel the bridge. I could feel it there. And immediately the question that came to me was what frequency is after that, because that's where I actually wanted to go. And so
Oh.
I was really curious, and then I got kind of stuck there because I was trying to read what it was, but now I'm back. I'm here.
And you are surrounded by white light, divine goddess. Do you want me to take you to the next frequency?
Well, I'm curious what it is. What is the frequency after that?
So I would recommend at that point, it's a soundtrack that we have, Raise Your Frequency, and it's designed to be a shortcut so that you don't have to do so much inner work. So that's where probably I would take you, is the soul activation frequency. So you get it really fast, but I can see your third eye is, that's why you're doing the work you're doing, and it actually filled your field with white light. So you received that really quickly, Jules. You're a good tester. You're, you're a very good tester. Do you want me to play one more frequency to go to the next level?
I can hear everybody saying, "Oh yeah, let's go."
Okay, cool. Oh yeah. Okay, good. Let's see if we can pull this one up. And it's so fun because, yeah, and what's important is that each person receives frequency differently. So it's self-receptor cells. So the research is fascinating because it's evolving. And okay, so the one is the ultimate rise in frequency. Two come into consciousness, the ultimate rise in frequency or soul alignment. Do you have a preference?
I like the first one that you said. That's the one I don't know what that means, but it
You're a
sounds
smart woman. That's what that means. And this is only a few minutes. The other one was longer, but this is the one oh, sorry, I'm gonna have to do it again. this is the frequency soundtrack that we were gifted with, the very interesting statement that the things that take us days, weeks, and years to work out, this is the shortcut. It gets worked out by listening to this.
I love it. So before you play it, I'm immediately getting, if there's something that you know that you're having a hard time with, listeners out there, bring that bring it into your field and witness the shift of it so that you can say goodbye and we can just move right into the next, right? So that just came to me to share. So let's play. Let's go.
Beautiful, beautifully said. You're very gifted, Jules. I see that. You get it fast. So just allow this to wash over your energy field and release any blocks you might have been carrying. Just allow it to come into your center, filling you with the divine light.
Yes, that was amazing. I felt that it's like every cell in my body just had somebody clean it out. It was
Oh.
literally, that's what it felt like. My whole body feels amazing. I hope you guys are all feeling this. I mean, now is the time to go run that marathon, right?
I
Full
love it.
on focus where that divine frequency is running for us. It was so beautiful. That was really, really good. I love your work. So let me feel into if there's questions out there. I don't even think at this point, I think the work is, you don't, it's like we didn't even have to talk. People just had to experience it, right? And that I love
Absolutely.
that you
That
brought
one,
that.
yeah, and those frequencies pierce some of the illusion, really, what I call the distortion matrix. They pierce through that because as humans, you're really designed to be divine instruments of the divine source. So you really have powers and abilities. You've just been stripped of them, sort of. So those frequencies actually cut through the illusion, is what I'm hearing. Just the illusion of who you might think you are, which has been, a little more limited, to put it mildly. You have great power and abilities, and we just need to awaken them and use them.
I love it. And everybody that's listening knows exactly what you're talking about. And
Yes.
it's tapping into that other 90% of our potential. And this is such an amazing, I don't even want to call it a tool, a gift to allowing us to stay in those frequencies for long enough periods of time that we can actually self-actualize in them and start living from that space, regardless of the illusion. Because I do believe that we all will reach a level of consciousness where there's just nothing that anybody's going to be able to do to get us out of the frequency of our pureness. And this is a beautiful gateway, that bridgeway into holding that frequency on a consistent basis.
Yes, absolutely. It is a support to hold the frequency and to awaken your innate gifts, which of course you do have. You
Absolutely.
have genius. So
Everybody has their genius.
he does. And we have to, interesting word I'm hearing, we have to bring it up and out and adorn it. I don't know why I've heard the word adorn. It needs to be expressed
Yes.
to reach fulfillment, really. And otherwise, there's always a sense of disconnect or frustration. So when you go to that bridge, do accept your gift, is what I would say. Accept your gifts. Yes.
So beautiful. I love that. Well, Helena, is there anything else that we haven't maybe said that you feel like is important? I do know that you have a free gift too, so if you wanted to talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, so we will be gifting a soundtrack and a book called any book called Cracking the Quantum Code, which will go into a little more depth, but we will also be gifting you with the soundtrack. And the message is that we live in a vibrational universe. We are frequency-based organisms. Sound is the medicine of the future. So join us. It will accelerate your evolution. And Jules, it has been an honor to be with you today. You're very gifted and your energy is very awake. So it's really a pleasure and an honor to share this with you today.
Oh,
And I'm
right
forever
back at
grateful.
you, girl. Right back
You.
at you. I love bringing thought leaders and change makers together because it does create a beautiful frequency. And what's so wonderful is that most of the people that are listening to this right now are the thought leaders and the change makers. And this is just a beautiful bridge, a gateway that can bring you to the next level of that gift. And there's no better time than now to do that. So definitely check out the link below and connect with Helena because she's just such a beautiful soul and inside and out. And your work is absolutely amazing. I just feel honored to have been able to spend this time and experience your work as well. So I will definitely be tapping into that on your free gift, and I'm sure I'll be reaching out in other ways as well. Thank you so much, honey.
Thank you for having us, Jules, your beautiful soul. You are really beautiful. And
Thank you.
thank you. You touched my heart today. Thank you, dear.
And thank you for everyone that is listening. We are just sending you so much love. I hope that you are just feeling extremely uplifted and ready to go take on whatever your next is, and that you're going to do it from this genius zone and even beyond the gamma frequency. We love you all, and we will see you all very soon.